All right, welcome back, everyone, to Mario Kart Central for our first MKT cast of the group stage for Mario Kart World Cup 2021. We are looking forward to this really exciting match between Costa Rica and Brazil today. I'm here with Wins.
Hey, Mitch, good to be here again. Looking forward to a really exciting group stage match.
Absolutely. So, going into yes, like I said, our very. Actually, I lied. This is the second match for Mario Kart Tour for the group stage, our first cast. And we will talk about that first match in just a second here. Actually, being in this group, we just saw France and Brazil battle it out just an hour earlier. France narrowly taking a win, looking like a much closer war than we were expecting. A plus 12 for France for that war. Very back and forth, looked very interesting. So Brazil coming off that narrow loss, and Costa Rica, this being their first match of the group stage. So let's go ahead and take a look at our lineups for the matches today. So we have got a pretty stacked lineup for Costa Rica, probably our strongest one. In my personal opinion, this is Sanch, Jakes, Gretel, and Pausa. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but obviously we've seen Sanch several times already this event, being the team captain for this team. Gretel, we saw, I think, the one match we casted last week, but on Sunday, for their remaining group matches, she had internet problems, so she couldn't play. And Jakes took on her role that she would have had in that match. Jakes, a player that I hadn't heard of until last week, and he was really helping Sanch in the front, doing great work. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in this match. Definitely a player to look out for. Pausa filling that fourth spot. Again, another solid player. He's had experience in like ER and stuff. So looking great for Costa Rica's lineup today.
Yeah, good stuff. MrSanchz is definitely one of the all-time greats. Gretel is a big player. Very cool that they have a girl on their team, in my opinion, and that Jake's filled her boots so well. I must say, I've never heard of Hayusa before. I've seen him in some lineup, but I've never seen him play. That's what I meant, actually. So I'm looking forward to how it all turns out to be. And then we go to the Brazil lineup, I assume, Mitch?
Yeah, so looking at Brazil's lineup, this, I believe, is the same lineup we just saw them use. Actually, it's pretty close. So we got Carlos, Tanuke, Ga, Evo, and Rafael. And I think Kratos was bagging in the last war against France again instead of Rafael. So I'm not sure if they'll be bagging this war. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I don't think Costa Rica will either, but we'll have to see how both teams decide to play this out. Carlos, Tanuke, both players from Brazilian Racer Zone, one of the strongest teams at the beginning of the game. And yeah, they're back. We saw Brazil in general take a bit of a break at the end of 2020, coming back for this World Cup, and they're looking so strong. I think a minus 12 against France, who are projected to be one of the best teams in the tournament.
Amazing.
Yeah, that shows just how much of an improvement this team has had over the past few months.
Yeah, and maybe how competitive just the groups are in general. It's out of this world. Maybe the competition this year. I think previous years, especially when people were more adapting to like the metas, etc. But everyone is so well aware of metas. Even like in time trials, for example, you see Tanuki setting great results. Everyone has just gotten so much better, and it makes for a great competition. I'm really looking forward how the rest of this group turns out. You would expect like France to go through, but even they had to really fight for it against Brazil. So yeah, it's super enjoyable for everyone. And I think this group is going to be close in general. If you look at the other teams, all Latin American teams fighting each other, that's some intense competition from that region.
Yeah, definitely, and especially, all three of these. So we have it's Latin America, so Colombia, the two teams we're seeing here, and also France. But all three of out of Costa Rica and Colombia didn't have the strongest showings in the event last year, and now they're showing how much improvement they've had over these past this past year coming into this event. So it's going to be great to see, especially Colombia, as they have improved just so much since that last event, and especially for France too. Just unfortunately falling out much earlier than many expected last year, falling to I believe Peru in quarterfinals. Definitely not what a lot of people were expecting. But yeah, we are getting into the match now.
We
will be watching
Vamos. Vamos, vamos.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
We're watching Sanchez, right, for the entire match?
Yes, we'll be having Sanchez's point of view here. So,
oh wow, he's banging?
Burnout to start. I don't know. That might have been an accident. We'll have to see. Maybe just trying to bag for a decent set on the second item box. We'll have to see. Again, I think it's a risky play considering this track in general doesn't have that many items.
No, and there's no shortcuts. So if they have a top 3 like they're having right now, it's going to be really difficult to come back. But there are 3 sets, a shock is pretty common. We'll have to see how this plays out, but it can be really tough to pressure front running on this track.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw a 1-3-4 right off the bat for Brazil. It seems Costa Rica had made some progress, though, up front. 2-3-4 now, even, just suddenly, leaving only one Brazil member up front. Not quite sure who that is, but with 2-3-4, and yeah, they're gone already. Top 2-4 for Costa Rica. Sanch in this heart, a bomb, too. He could make a huge play, although, okay, maybe not. Oh, it won't even matter.
Hard. Crazy.
Shot coming in. That might have even been a Brazil shock, to be honest, since first place dodged. Sanch can only get a bomb snipe here. No, he's going to back it. And... Ooh, did that connect? It doesn't look like it, no. He probably was in a heart. That should have been a hit.
Yeah, that looked really... it didn't seem like he could dodge it from that angle. Anyway, Sanchez was kind of lucky. I think his heart was about to run out because he used it pretty early, as he had to. But he still got the dodge in, and that's really good for Costa Rica. Now they stay competitive. Points don't completely slip out of their hands.
Yeah, definitely. And it was looking really good, but Brazil... I think, even though Sanch dodged, I liked that shock from Brazil. It basically confirmed first place for Carlos there, as he dodged in a heart up front. That was, just really good awareness.
Yeah, it was perfect. Absolutely.
So a +3 to start for Brazil. And yeah, pretty solid, especially considering, that was looking pretty bad for them going into that second set lap too. But just the great shock play helped so much there. So
how about this track?
Here, yeah, this is Donut Plains 2T. And great track for Costa Rica to rebound, especially with Sanch pulling the Shroom first right off the bat. He'll get a pretty big breakaway. Yeah, well, he'll have to use it soon, probably right now, unless he wants to take a red and maybe bag, but no red coming out, but Carlos, I think. Yeah, that's Carlos Shrooming ahead of him. Opting to ooh, that's kind of close. I think that's why he dropped. Yeah, Sanch playing smart, going for that second place box. Doesn't want to risk getting redded.
Yeah, and Costa Rica took all 8th place boxes. I've been checking out the beggar situation because I wondered what happened last track as well with Brazil getting the shock. So they're in the perfect spot right now. Top 3. They should have.
Blue cancel or shock cancels blue, but that's going to get everyone into the set, and I don't see any Brazil dodges. This might be a strong race. Yeah, this might be the race Costa Rica needs, and it absolutely will be. 1-3-4.
So they I think they used the shock, even though they were in first, just to cancel out the blue. That's probably the play, and the other two players from their team dodged, and even the player in 8th place got up to 7th place. So that was an exceptionally good result from that shock. Yeah, well played.
Yeah, great rebound for Costa Rica. Exactly what they needed, and looks like we're gonna have a nail biter here. +7 race, swinging the lead into Costa Rica's favor. This is gonna be a really close match.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good watch for sure.
I'm being okay. Never mind. So, yeah, great stuff. I really like how Costa Rica adapted, able to keep that 8th place to get the shock. I see in the chat someone was talking about Rafal bagging. I'm not exactly sure who's bagging for Costa Rica. We'll have to look on this results screen here. It is. Hey, how's it? Okay, so that makes sense since again these we've talked about how these other three runners, other three players, Gretel, Jakes, Sanch being their main runners. So makes sense how it's a bagging, but yeah, two players I don't have much experience with in terms of their bagging. So, but one-to-one shot count so far could be a pretty even battle back there. So heading into Sunset Wilds, Sanch. I do want to talk about how Sanch's personal preference is to use Toadette here. You don't see a lot of players do that, but Sanch, I think he's seen success using Toadette, especially since this track is super like line heavy. There's so many NISTs, so many like driving tech here, and unfortunately that won't matter as Sanch is going to take a blue, but he gets second place box, so he could make quick work out of first place, but he'll have to be careful. 1-3-4 for Brazil.
Yeah, there's several places in this track where you can take two shortcuts at once if you have the triple mushroom, because it lasts for that long. But it's kind of dangerous, whenever there's a shock, it's gonna be very, very painful for you.
Yeah, speaking of painful for Costa Rica, top 3, but Sanch gonna shroom up.
That's a beautiful snipe. Did you see the snipe?
Yeah, I did. That was great. Great stuff. And don't get first off that with the triple shroom pull on the last set to even seal it.
Oh boy, Sanchez, that was dirty, my man. That was dirty. The banana snipe and the triple mushroom pull, you love to see it. Amazing play.
And this is how Toadette. This is one example of how Toadette comes in clutch here. Again, one of the only players that I see use Toadette here, and he makes it work on Sunset Wilds. So great stuff there. Confirming the first place. Unfortunately, his teammates not following up as great as Costa Rica would have liked, but that's still a +1.
They'll take that. I mean, they went into...
actually, sorry, that's +1 for Brazil. So, yeah, not quite what Costa Rica was looking for, but Sanch doing his greatest effort to make the loss as minimal as possible.
He was a one-man army in that track, and I think they did great in general because Brazil was top 3 going into the second set of lap 2. So, yeah, that result was actually really good for them from that point on. That was easily very, very dangerous getting top 2. They were in that kind of zone because top 2 has protection. If one guy has a shroom, he'll never catch up, so he did amazing.
Yeah, great work from Sanch that race, and it looks like we will be heading to the next cup. This is Armex Rainbow Road 2. Yeah, it looks like just the normal version here. So again, another pretty strong running track, and we see Costa Rica starting in great spots right off the bat. Top 3, I believe. I think that trail from Sanch connects onto a... maybe not.
No, you don't see anyone on the mini-map, so I don't think it did.
Yeah, Brazil players come back up a star already for a player from the second set. I think that's... might be Carlos, not certain, but great pull for him. He has it in first, too. He'll have to be careful.
Yeah, I would almost say drop to third, because if the set player in second gets reds, then yeah, it isn't as good as you might think it is, in my opinion. while in third,
Yeah,
while
it
being
looks
so
like
close to first.
he. I think he's aware, but he doesn't want to drop. I'm not exactly sure why, but looks like Gretel takes first. Bomb attempt coming up from SanchZ. Going to be a little too far to the left there to hit anyone.
Great
Red.
items, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, one red from Brazil going to connect, and that's a first place heart dodge for SanchZ. And a dodge for another Costa Rica player, it looks like. Top two going into this last set.
This is almost unbreakable unless they pull a blue right now.
Yeah, only a blue can stop this, and yeah, not going to come out. Top two for Costa Rica off that shock.
Yeah, well done. And you see the power of just, staying in third, super close behind first and second. You get those hearts because there's just much more chance for you to pull them instead of the player, for example, in second place. And then at one point, one dodge comes, one red, the double reds come, or the blue comes, and you're actually in a best spot from third place, in my opinion. So I think strategically, SanchZ played this really well.
Yeah, again, another great performance from SanchZ, and I have sources, actually. So sources have been telling me that all of the shocks in this match so far have been from Brazil.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
That's going to change a lot about what we've been talking about so far. First off, you were talking about on Donut Plains how Costa Rica's bagger was in last the whole time, so that would indicate a 7th place shock for Brazil that race. But 2 dodges for SanchZ off of Brazil shocks.
And to be honest, like the shock specifically in Donut Plains 2T was kind of suspicious because we thought maybe they shocked to cancel out the blue, but still SanchZ was in first, so it didn't make that much sense, to be honest, to shock them if they had it. So yeah, makes sense that they didn't have it then.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to see some more pressure, especially onto SanchZ from Brazil, if they want to make more use of their shocks. And especially on Rock Mountain of all tracks, we'll definitely need to see that, as again, one of the most shortcut influence tracks in the game. We're gonna need to see great benefit from the shocks coming out for either team if they pull it. Looks like, pretty even battle back there. Costa Rica in 8th place at the moment. Ben's going to take a red. And
I don't think it matters.
First. Oh, that's a nice bomb. But yeah.
I don't think you want to be in first on this track. He pulled double coins again. I think getting redded there was pretty okay. He now has an opportunity to pull a star, a mushroom like he has right now, or even a mega would help him for lap 2. You want something for one of the shortcuts. The most obvious one is the shortcut with the ramp, but later on in lap 2, the one with the airstreams, if you use a mushroom there, it's actually significantly faster. So yeah, getting double shrooms into lap 2 is actually really strong.
Oh yeah, SanchZ gonna have to avoid that blue shell. So not only a blue shell for Costa Rica, but 2, maybe even all 3 Costa Rica members taking cut. Did that trail connect? I think it might have onto Gretel there.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Unfortunate. And shock, that was definitely a Brazil shock since I noticed the Baby Peach. And there's a dodge from Ga Evo. He'll be getting first for sure. We'll have to see if any Brazil members can take out 2-3, but already at the glider, it doesn't look like it. So at least confirming first with the shock.
It's almost crazy to me how far those other Brazil players fell behind them, because SanchZ also took a really slow path with the airstream where he didn't have any MT to boost up through the air. So they must have fallen so far behind. Maybe they didn't have shrooms, maybe they got hit out in the shortcut, but something was off that race for Brazil, unfortunately. And I think it's very fortunate that they at least got first place.
Yeah, first place is going to give them the winning race, but not by as much as they would have liked. The +1 for them. I mean, this war, we haven't seen any races over a 7-point differential. So 7-point differential overall, actually, in favor of Costa Rica. This is still anyone's game.
Yeah, it's insanely close. But if I was in Brazil's boots, I wouldn't be too happy right now. Like, you pulled so many shocks. It almost seems like they should have gotten a significant advantage at this point. Yeah. Maybe they were really unfortunate with dodges. Sometimes that happens. You pull all the shocks, but if your members don't have the dodges to make actual use of the shock, and obviously it isn't as good, but I feel when you have that many shocks, you had a huge opportunity to break away from your opponents, and they definitely didn't do that, although they kept it really close.
Yeah, and I mean, keeping it close is better than taking, a plus or minus 11, minus 13 race. So,
oh yes,
great effort from Brazil with the shock. But again, 4-0 shock count and minus 7 right now. Not looking the greatest. Something is going to have to change from Brazil if they want to bring this back. Horn in first right now for MrSanchz with teammate support. This looks really good already. And
he might use it for the shortcut, I guess.
He could. Yeah, he will. Good play. Although, Brazil suddenly in second now. Maybe not as good. We'll have to see. Reds probably are going to start coming out.
Yeah, I'm taking a brief look at... Oh, and another shock.
Another Brazil shock, yeah.
And this really hurts MrSanchz. This will really hurt him, for sure.
Jake's dodging, though, so Costa Rica's still keeping first. And... yeah, I'm not sure, again, that shock may not be as beneficial as Brazil would have liked. Star coming up, he could maybe hit MrSanchz on the line, but no, not going to reach. Still a 1-3, as Jake's, again, these dodges from Costa Rica on Brazil shocks really hurting them, especially Jake's, I believe, was in second, dodging in a heart for that.
Yeah.
It's really hurting. They like shocks like those. They just can't be using shocks in these situations.
I think one of the problems for Brazil right now is that they fall too far behind between, like, let's say set 2 and set 3. I think they get hit out somewhere and then they fall that far behind that even the shocks don't give them like top 2s, top 3s. That's their main problem. I hope they can keep up with the pace and avoid a bit getting hit out, because again, if you have that many shocks, yeah, you have a huge opportunity to get better results, and this was a Costa Rica win, which I don't think it should have been.
Definitely not. So, looking at the results so far, plus 10, halfway mark of the war, plus 10 for Costa Rica. I mean, again, that's now Brazil's 5th shock in this war. Still narrow, like these narrow losing races, as we've talked about, falling too far behind, letting Costa Rica members dodge. It's getting a little dire here and at this halfway point, and again, Brazil, they have to change up their plan here. They have to get in the front early. We see top 2 off the bat as 2 Costa Rica members take that opening cut. This is Real Raceway R, and that shortcut basically determines who's going to run the track and who will have to catch up with their items for lap 2, as that cut, it just saves so much time.
One of the most important other things in Real Raceway R is that there are actually 4 sets per lap. That's the only variation. Oh, and there's a shock. And he used it at the same time, so this must have been Costa Rica's, I guess.
Yeah, this has to be Costa Rica's first shock of the war, and top 3 is sort of, positions are switching. Top 2, 4. Yeah, a little bit of a battle here. Yeah, no, it looks like one Costa Rica member gets taken out. So top 2 right now. MrSanchz, double protection, and you got to look at this mini-map. This breakaway for him is pretty solid. There's almost no way he loses this.
No, I think even with blue, they might not be able to catch up at this point. It would maybe get close, but I don't even think that would help them enough.
Yeah, it's great that we have that info since we've been casting a lot of streamers who are using low power mode, so having this mini-map is great to help us out with that information. But yeah, top 2 going to be the end result for Costa Rica. But again, that's really all they need. They need these narrow winning races. They're just stacking on top of each other, mounting their lead even further. The top 2, 6-7, that's got to be +7.
Yeah, and we got to highlight how just stellar Sanchez's play is right now, because he smuggled a heart into first place. We shouldn't forget that. So yeah, he's playing really consistent and putting a lot of pressure on Brazil to make big plays, I think. He's doing a great job leading his team, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. The playmaker of this war, for sure. And it's great we're getting to see his point of view for this war and witnessing this stuff firsthand. And going into Battle of Costa 1, now, interesting about this track is this is a great opportunity for Brazil to come back on an all-run race. If they choose to do so, this track, again, very short track, probably over in less than a minute, and 2 sets.
Yep.
Means that shock is not, you know, the benefits of running outweigh those of bagging. So if
shock is just not as potent anyway.
Yeah,
because there's a glider set to lap 2. So basically, for half of the lap, there's a glider in lap 2. So shock isn't as potent. It's not as likely to get pulled because there's only 3 sets in which you can pull it. Maybe even 2, because if you're bagging, I don't even think you'll reach for the 3rd set in this specific track, because you can do a respawn glitch. Yeah, this is running, and I think this favors Sanchez, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and Brazil is opting to bag, as we see that baby Peach back there, so definitely, like, Brazil need to get up in front now. Sanch with double protection, though, in first. This is going to be hard to break, and they need to do it before the glider, too.
Yeah, they will. They have good pressure with 2nd and 3rd place. That's really good. They already pulled one red. They might get double red right now, so that would really hurt Sanchez. We'll see.
Yeah, if they can red him over the lava, he will back. That's a little bit of a weird play, but he'll just get 2 more protection going onto the glider here. He could even back spam on the line. Opting not to, securing first.
I'll boldly say that he threw that away by accident. There's absolutely no reason to throw away your protection right at that moment.
Yeah, that is a fair point. And fortunately, he didn't get punished for that, but regardless, securing first, this... Yeah, if I'm Brazil, I'm starting to get in a bit of a panic mode now. This is the race, again, like, this race... Probably out of this tour, you have to consider the tracks in this tour. Out of all the tracks in this tour, that's probably the biggest, like, catch-up potential type track. And not getting that race that they would have desired there, not going to be in their best interest. And again, Costa Rica just slowly pulling away. Plus 18 now for Costa Rica with 4 races to go.
I mean, this is still in the they can still come back from this. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, you want to come back really quick, because else you'll have to go into drastic measures. Everyone running, etc. You don't want to do that early, because it makes your whole team vulnerable to shock. But I think the last track again. It's a great running track, and I think that favors just Sanchez's team in general. I think this one might favor Brazil more, where there's a shortcut near the end. They can smuggle items into good positions. I think this will favor them, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely, but Sanch taking that shroom up to first, not helpful, but I did want to point out, during that lap 1, Brazil aren't bagging. They're in 7th place now, but that whole first lap, Jakes was just uncontested in last, so we'll have to see. I mean, He's still pretty far behind. Doesn't look like he's using anything. It could be possible that they are holding shock for Costa Rica here. This would probably confirm at the very least the top two.
Yeah, and if you looked at the minimap, you could see that Sanchez broke away already, so there was already no possible way of coming back for Brazil.
Yeah, there's the shock. So that was Jake's holding it in last.
2-3-5-6 though, that's not too bad in my opinion.
Oh yeah, bottom two for Costa Rica. Yeah, that's going to be a winning race for Brazil.
Yeah.
Good start. That's what they need. They need now to build on that momentum. You know, again, risky to not bag that track. I think out of all all tracks, that one is probably one of the more riskier ones to abandon the bagging, but it worked out, and that's going to be, I believe, a +3. Overall, -15 for Brazil. Start that they need, but they're going to have to come up a little bit larger with these upcoming races.
Yeah, and the main difference in this entire war, we've highlighted it a couple of times, is just MrSanchz. If you looked at those individual scores, he's having a score of 78 right now. That's absolutely disgusting. I think no one else in the room has more than 46 or 48, if I checked very briefly. Okay, 61, my bad. But still, they need to take out Sanchez early. He's getting into good position in lap 1 and just has no pressure seemingly. There's no double reds basically ever. So I think that they should definitely try to snipe him, do whatever they can to just hold MrSanchz down.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job at as he hits the thwomp.
He's helping them. That's very nice of it.
Yeah, as he hits the thwomp, but he's doing a nice job of being aware of his items and where he can, like, the limits as to where he can smuggle. We've seen him take shrooms up to first, hearts up to first, and he's doing a great job at knowing when that's you know, a play that he should be making, and it's helping quite a bit.
Yeah, you're
especially with these
absolutely
first place heart dodges and stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then at one point, some other Costa Rica member is in second place. That gives him some time to build a lead in first, and that's how he secures all those wins.
Yeah, I think he side greens Jake's there as he'll try to throw his green away. And this is top 2 and a little bit broken away even for Brazil, and 4 now.
Yeah,
this
they did a
looks
great
really
job.
nice.
This is a forward spawn though.
Yeah, forward spawn. Maybe was looking for a shock there, but no shock coming into play. He'll dodge if there's a shock right now, but it doesn't look likely as Brazil is in last.
This is the big comeback, the remontada. This is 1-3-4. Amazing result for Brazil.
1-2-4, yeah. Wow. That's exactly what they needed. They're right back in it now.
Yeah, now there's a little bit of a momentum shift. You saw last race Brazil coming back into RMX Choco Island 1T, and now this race is just huge, I think, in terms of results, and that's just what they needed, what we discussed 2 tracks ago. Very, very, very close race coming up.
Yeah, top 2-4. Great stuff there. Especially, like, again, Brazil, they did exactly what Sanchz has been doing for most of the war. It took an early lead, got a breakaway, and even with Sanchz, even if you pulled reds, unfortunately we didn't see him pull any reds, but even with reds, that was looking probably a winning race, even, you know, with that in mind. So great stuff. That is +9 race for Brazil. That's the biggest race we've seen so far this war. That's going to bring Costa Rica's lead down to 6 points with 2 to go. This is very doable.
Yeah, what a moment to do it. And I also think, like I've said last race, that it was important to take Sanchez down. Of course, he drove into the thwomp himself. But I don't want to highlight the mistake. I just want to highlight that when he didn't get in first, it was a much better result for Brazil. So they need to try and keep him down in lap 1. We'll see if it continues.
Yeah, but Sanchz getting the shroom again. Calamari 2. That shroom is super crucial, being able to shroom up on that cut, and Sanchz able to do it along with Tanuke. It looks like in first place Ooh, as Red's getting lag trailed, he has one left.
Oh, and he's in a position to side red there. He didn't
And
use
there it goes, yeah. Not getting that opportunity. And another, yeah, Brazil members drafting, shrimming up.
Oh, I was about to say he should
Yeah.
not. Yeah, that was super risky of MrSanchz.
Super risky, and again, look at this. 1-3-4 going into the last straightaway. This looks so good for Brazil right now. They're gonna take the lead back with this race. Sanch may try to make a play with a side red.
Oh,
And he did.
yeah.
Wow. That's exactly what Sanch needed to do there. Get a side red out of the cut.
That's still
Great
1567.
play.
1567. I think that's -1. I'm not sure.
That is the power of the side red right there, folks. Changing that top 2-4 for Brazil into 1-5-6, and it looks like 8 now with the baggers finally ending.
That was a huge red. Like we should not underestimate how much work that one red did at near the finish line. Actually, that did a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah, plus they turned that into +3 race in their favor. +9 Brazil for Costa Rica. One race for Brazil to make this happen. Paris Promenade T. It doesn't. Yeah, this track. I mean, if it had been like RT, that shock could have been a factor with that respawn. But
yeah,
Brazil are gonna have to take these top spots early.
Yeah, it's great that we finish on Paris Promenade, in my opinion. It's the tour-defining track this tour around. So let's see how it goes. And we didn't see 3T yet. I think it's a super solid runner, so not that many opportunities to shock people out of good spots. So let's see how it goes.
Brazil actually starting in top 3. This could be huge if one player were to like drop and maybe start to pack play, but no, actually,
Brazil members already hit out.
Yeah, great plays from I can't quite see who. I think is it Jakes in first? Whoever, Jakes or Gretel, whoever that was, taking 2 players out right away. That was great. Great plays, leaving just.
That was
I believe that's Tanuke up here.
Yeah, that was a really good attempt from MrSanchz to try and get into the second place box.
Oh no, but getting hit, he can't even take glider with that. That's a great trail for Brazil, but Bill top 2 as Gretel shroomed up. They need to take care of this immediately.
Hit out again.
And they're putting in the work on Sanch, but they gotta focus on top 2. 2 sets left to make this happen.
This will be very, very, very. Ooh,
but the blue shell for Sanch.
But I was saying there could be a shock in play still. There it is.
There it is. Brazil taking first. Brazil taking 1-3. This is a win if they can hold this.
Isn't it a +7 result again?
I think it depends on the bagger. Actually, their bagger will have to get.
This is +7 or +9. I think. This is insane.
No, I don't think it looks good for the bagger. Yeah, bagger getting last.
That will make the difference, I guess.
Wow. I think it does.
Ooh, what an effort though. That shock came in just at the right time. If you were a little bit later, then after set 3, then there's the finish with a glider. So it's essentially useless. The shock came in at the perfect time. It's just unfortunate that the bagger couldn't hold 7th place. I still can't call it, but I'm 99% sure they lost by 2.
Yeah, a lot of the chat is saying it was a win by 2. We have a win by 4 for our results. Not exactly sure, but regardless, that is a very close victory for Costa Rica in the end.
Wow. And what a roller coaster. Insane. Especially near the end. You thought that momentum was shifting into Brazil's favor, and they finally, started to convert all those shocks. And wow, yeah, they had huge opportunities, in my opinion. They might be even disappointed about this, and I think Costa Rica will be very, very, very happy with the +2 or +4 win.
Yeah, absolutely. They need that win, and yeah, going up against their last two matches being France and Colombia. That win is going to be so crucial for them if they want to make any chance of getting into that top two in their group. And wow, just great stuff. I think, unfortunately, though, that already puts Brazil out of contention unless we see some pretty heavy upsets from the rest of these teams, as they're already 0-2. But I do want to highlight how Brazil, they played that war. I mean, their like ending war, they were under so much pressure, and they had a chain of really good races going into that last, 4-3. So just
Definitely, they
great
fought
play.
with their hearts. Yeah, they definitely fought with their hearts.
Yeah, with all that they had, great stuff from them. I think, the early game wasn't looking so strong for them, but they made a great effort in the end. So just want to point that out. But Costa Rica overall, Sanch especially, just had this war under lock and key. There was really almost no counterplay to Sanchez's running or item smuggling at any point until, I guess, those ending few races. But that was the factor for sure that led them to this win, and they'll definitely need that same those same plays going into, especially against Colombia. I think if Costa Rica is going to make any sort of upset going into these group stages, or these group stage matches. Sorry, it's going to be that Colombia match.
Yeah, again, I think we gave him enough praise, but he did really, really well. I think the rest of his team did too. They kind of supported him, sometimes being in second place, just giving that opportunity to drive away from the pack. And at those points, the shocks didn't even matter anymore. But if this is the group stage, and if these are just the first matches, then I think we got a hell of a lot more coming this season of the World Cup of MKT. This was just excellent to watch. And again, hats off to Brazil for giving it their best effort. Almost the crazy comeback, La Remontada, but just barely missing out on the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that match between Costa Rica and Colombia, we will be casting that. That is happening tomorrow at the same time, actually, on this very channel. We'll be casting at 4 p.m. Eastern, Colombia, Costa Rica on Mario Kart Central. So that'll be a great match to cover. But that basically ends it for us here. I believe we're going to transition into Mario Kart 8 for this next match. But quickly, I do want to go over the rest of what tomorrow at least looks like for MKT casting wise. So this was our only match we'll be casting today for Mario Kart Tour. You can see some more great Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart Wii action over on EGTV. But for MKT, we'll start off tomorrow on EGTV's channel with Chile versus Hong Kong at 12:30 Eastern. Again, we'll have that Colombia-Costa Rica match, and probably the most hyped up match of this entire group stage, Japan and Peru, tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern on EGTV. So we have all of that to look forward to for this World Cup. Coverage for tomorrow. So definitely be there for all those matches. They're going to be absolutely crazy. So
a lot of fire coming our way with some big powerhouses. Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be great stuff. So definitely check all of those out. But for now, we need to start transitioning over to Mario Kart 8. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you again shortly.
Enjoy Mario Kart 8. See ya.